This video is part of a world-famous series where I use Ludo pieces to illustrate principles behind routing incoming calls from queues and contact centers to agents who'll help the callers. In this episode, we'll look at skill-based routing, and that's a feature for automatically routing calls to the agents who have the best possible skills for handling them. Here we have a queue of callers waiting to be served by our agents. These are our primary agents who'll always get calls if they're available. And these are our secondary agents who'll only get calls if the primary agents are not available, for example, if they're busy speaking with callers. We've assigned some skills to our agents. This primary agent, Helen, she knows something about cars. She has a car skill of 7. This primary agent, Karen, she knows something about cars and sugar cubes. She has a car skill of 5 and a sugar skill of 6. And the two secondary agents, they also have skills assigned. We also define how important the skills are on the queue. On this queue, car skills have an importance of 5 and sugar skills have an importance of 2. So the Zylinc system creates a table like this one. Helen has a car skill of 7. When we multiply that car skill of 7 with the importance for cars on the queue, we get 35. She hasn't got any sugar skills, so no calculation is needed there, and the result is that Helen gets an overall skill level of 35. Karen, she's got a car skill of 5. The importance of car skills is also 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Karen has a sugar skill of 6. Sugar skills have an importance of 2 on the queue. 6 times 2 is 12. And when we multiply Karen's two skill results, 25 and 12, we get an overall skill level for Karen of 37. And similar calculations are done for the two secondary agents, Duane and Louise. Now, let's do some call distribution. I really like skill-based routing. It's like a really powerful engine that can provide a great experience for the callers. But when you're dealing with a powerful engine, it helps to be really familiar with it so that you can stay in control of its awesome powers. So this time, when I illustrate the principles with my Ludo pieces, I'll deliberately focus on some potential pitfalls that it helps to be aware of. Okay, this caller has indicated, for example, through an interactive voice response menu, that their call is about cars. The primary agent with the highest overall skill level is Karen, 37. Karen is indeed available, so we send the car-related call, to her, and she then becomes busy. And this is where I expect you to interrupt. Hey, wait a minute, you'll say. Karen, look, she's not the best agent for handling a call about cars. Look, Helen is better. She's got a car skill of 7, whereas Karen only have a car skill of 5. And you're right, of course, but you're also wrong. Remember what I said before, Zylinc will look for the highest overall skill level. And on the overall skill level, Karen scores higher with her 37 than Helen with Helen's 35. So Karen will indeed get the call, despite the fact that she's not the one who knows most about cars. Actually, you could argue that it's Karen's sugar skills that help her win calls about cars, because her sugar skills contribute to a higher overall rating of 37. This can come as a surprise, and that's exactly why it was important for me to show. So remember, if agents have multiple skills like Karen here, it's their overall skill levels that the Zylinc system uses. Now we have another caller, and this caller has a sugar-related inquiry. We have a primary agent with a sugar skill of 6. but that's Karen, and she's busy with her car-related call. Then we have a primary agent, Helen, but she has a sugar skill of nothing. She hasn't got any sugar skills. Then we have a secondary agent who's fallen down, I'm afraid. Here we go. We've got a secondary agent, Dwayne, who's got sugar skills of 5. So who will get the sugar call? The call will go to Helen, the primary agent with no sugar skills at all. What? She knows nothing about sugar. And we've got Dwayne here, ready and waiting with all of his sugar skills. Surely Dwayne will be better at handling the call. Again, that's a very, very valid point. But remember, Zylinc will always first look for an available primary agent. Only if it can't find an available primary agent will it start looking into the group of secondary agents. So in this case, we do have a primary agent who's available. That was Helen. She's certainly no sugar expert, but she is a primary agent and she is available. That's the 2 main criteria. So the Zylinc system says to itself, well, look no further, we've found our agent. So the sugar-related call does go to Helen, who now also becomes busy. The main takeaway here is probably that it generally makes sense to place your most skilled people in the primary agents groups, because agents in that group are more likely to get the calls. Next, do you remember the fact that you can not only have primary agents and secondary agents, you can in fact also have standby agents. Standby agents are automatically able to be triggered to help out on the queue if certain conditions are met. For example, if too many callers wait in the queue. When standby agents are called into action, they automatically become primary agents. And that's important to know, that's important to be aware of, because it can sort of force Zylinc to have to rewrite its table of skill levels, so to speak. So bear that in mind as well. The last thing I want to mention is the fact that some organisations have different needs. For the vast majority of organisations, good service means being able to handle inquiries quickly. So deep down in its DNA somewhere, a Zylinc solution is programmed to make sure that calls are distributed to available agents as quickly as possible. In other words, speed is of the essence. But for this particular feature, skill-based routing, some organisations say that they want skills to be more important than short waiting times. For them, it's more important that a caller gets to speak with an expert, even if it involves a longer wait. It's more important than it is to get the call answered quickly. And that's why for skill-based routing, it's possible on a Zylinc system to make agent skills rank higher than how long a call has waited. If you set that up, that twist works across queues. Remember that. You can't specify that behaviour for individual queues.